call it a bad performance in 2022. I'd call it a challenging, maybe a brutal year at best. Honestly, I don't believe the market will grow significantly in terms of volumes in 2023, but I definitely foresee ASP, the average selling price of the market, going up, and hence in value terms, it will grow. And that will be primarily defined by 2-3 parameters. Number one, since a smartphone is such a all encompassing part of our lives, people demand more from their phones. They don't want compromise on features. You want a great camera, great battery, great display, great everything, right? And hence, what used to be typically, let's say somebody buying a 12,000 rupee phone is today probably buying a 17, 18, 20,000 rupee phone, right? So people demanding more is driving up price points, number one. Number two, 5G shipments as a percentage of the total market is also going up, right? It will probably get to the majority sometime in Q3 of this year. And we know that there is a price difference between a 4G device and a 5G device. That's also causing an increase in the average price points. And hence, I would expect the market to be steady or slightly negative in volume, but grow by about 5-7% in terms of value, if not more. It depends. So the most attractive, the largest segment, of course, is 10 to 20,000. But let's just break this up, right? There's a lot of action in the 15 to 20,000 and 20 to 25,000 segment, because those are ones where you have all-rounders. For example, the Redmi Note series broadly starts in that price point where you have a little bit of everything, and people obviously want that device because it serves all of their needs. But when it comes to 5G, I believe it's the 10 to 15,000 price point, which will perhaps be the defining price point in terms of making 5G truly mass in terms of adoption. But of course, in the above 30,000 segment, action will continue with latest cutting edge features, but that's a whole different ball game altogether. Well, actually, multiple. One, of course, is on display, right? Today, there's so much of OTT content in YouTube that you consume on your phone, plus gaming. That's driving a demand for AMOLED displays with a high refresh rate, up to 120 Hertz refresh rate. So that's one factor that we're seeing. Second, because you use your smartphone for so long, people, of course, want a lot from the battery. But like if you go to a 6,000 mAh, your device thickness goes up. So instead, people are okay with a 5,000 mAh battery, but with fast charging, with 33 watt, 67 watt, 120 watts, and so on and so forth. Fast charging is the second use case. The third use case is from the creator economy, where they're starting to demand a whole lot from the camera, not just in terms of megapixel, but in terms of portraits and macros and 4K video and so on and so forth. So the third big demand that we're seeing from consumers is on the camera side. But last but not the least is the design, right? A smartphone is an extension of my personality, and I need it to look really cool. So these are the four broad trends in terms of what people are demanding from brands. A bit too early, it'll be too much of speculation on my part if I were to comment on this. But our first focus would be on home IoT devices, and which are smart in nature. So smart security camera, air purifier, water purifier, lamps and bedside lamps and lights and so on and so forth. That's an existing portfolio that we have. We also have a smart speaker that can control all of them together. I think it's important for us to establish and broaden that specific ecosystem before we start talking about the other category. The wearable segment is important for smartphone brands because when you build out this ecosystem, you actually have an increase in customer retention. A customer who has, let's say, a phone and your smartwatch has X percentage probability of buying your next phone. But when they have your phone, your smartwatch, and your earbuds, the probability of repeat goes up even further. So from that perspective, wearables is a super important category, but we have a long way to go in further entrenching and building ourselves to be strong in that segment. And that's a segment that we are continuing to focus on. I can definitely talk on behalf of Xiaomi. I think one of the strengths of Xiaomi in the past was that at every critical price point, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 18, 20, there was one obvious choice of a Xiaomi device, right? And it makes it easy for us to manage inventory, to manage production, to manage procurement. It makes it easy for the channel to manage inventory. It makes it easy for the retailer. It makes it easy for even the promoter to think of what to sell to a particular customer. And it also makes the job of finding these products online easier. And hence a cleaner, leaner, neater portfolio is any day a better option as opposed to something which has got too many options. And that happened last year because there was a lot of overlap of 4G and 5G across various price points, which is why the portfolio became a little bit unwieldy last year. But we are, of course, correcting that this year and going forward.